Hello, everyone. Welcome to Breathing Copy. Um, Today, we're gonna be breaking down a very famous, one of those uh, classic ads uh, that everyone likes. This was written by John Caples, and it's called "They Laugh When I Sat Down on the Piano, But When I Started to Play." And I wanted to start this. Uh, this show this first episode of this show, breaking down this copy because it's probably one of my favorite pieces of copy that I've ever read. And I've always been amazed at how John Caples used storytelling in an ad that it's from 1927. So uh, I don't know. I find it amazing simply that uh, I always we are always seeing this like people and marketing gurus and whatever, whoever wants to create a brand in this space come up with this, storytelling, how to use stories to sell, and that kind of stuff. And what I find incredible is that storytelling was being used in like 100 years ago, basically, right? So that's why I wanted to break down this sales letter, or this ad in particular. But before doing that, I wanted to explain a bit of what breathing copy is. So basically, one of the key uh, like advice, or the key the when someone tells gives advice, right? And some of the famous copywriters right now, like Justin Goff or Stefan Georgi, or Georgie, give advice about how do I become a copywriter, or what do I have to do to become the best copywriter in the world. They always say like, oh, you have to breathe copy, you have to focus only on reading copy and studying copy and learning everything you can about copy. The thing is, when you go to places like YouTube and blogs and that kind of stuff, you often see more people teaching how to get customers, or how to start a freelance career being a copywriter and that kind of stuff, and not so many people talking about copy, like talking about writing, about like these famous copywriters and sales letters, and just breaking down copy and seeing what's working right now, um and breaking down funnels and that kind of stuff. So my idea with this show was to just breathe copy, right? Follow the advice. What do I have to do to become a great copywriter? Well, you have to breathe and live copy. Well, what I'm going to attempt to do at this in these videos and these live streams, it's to just breathe copy and just read copy, sales pages, video sales letters, email, and everything that it's direct response, and maybe other stuff too. But websites, everything that it's written to make someone take a decision, we are going to be reading that, because there's enough people out there talking about how to build your freelance business and how to get your clients and how to start charging more. And there's a lot of people who will help you with that, and they will do it. They are willing to take your money to teach you how to get your first customer, how to establish your freelance business. But I don't think that there is a lot of people breaking that copy, and talking about copy specifically, how to write better copy, or how to analyze copy. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. So let's start with today's uh, today's ad that we are going to break down. So um what I'm going to do here is I'm going to read this and I'm going to do comments about anything that comes to my mind. The problem, it's going to be a bit rudimentary. So the first thing you should know is that the things that talk about like, let's say, stuff that is about benefits, or and trying to paint this picture of what people is going to get with the offer when they buy the product. It's all the stuff I'm going to highlight in green, right? I'm going to use this highlighter to highlight those benefits, or the positive copy, let's say. And the things that talk about the problems and the negative emotions and that kind of stuff, we are going to highlight them in red. And all the other stuff, like curiosity elements and that kind of stuff, we are going to use the this purple highlighter. So we're going to start. I'm going to just read it here and see what happens, right? So we start with we have this image, right? This is money making opportunities section. I find it kind of weird that they use it in this section of the paper, right? Because this is more like a hobby or something. Like you're not going to gain money from learning to play piano unless you're like a teacher or something, right? But yeah, I find it weird, right? But I guess that it makes sense. If you consider that people who want to make money or more money in that time, right? Let's remember that this was running in like 100 years ago, right? So people who wanted to make money at that time was probably people who already were making money, and playing piano, it's this kind of like it's like this status element, right? If you know someone that can play piano, it probably comes from a family from money, right? That has a lot of money. I'm not saying that this is true, but that's kind of like the perception, right? So I think that's why it's in this section, because if you run it in the money making opportunities section, you're not going to have you have more chances of hitting your market or your audience, right? That if you were running it in other sections, simply because there is like a cross section, right? It's like people who have money play the piano, or people who play the piano have money, and people who are looking to make more money also have money. So in this Venn diagram, right? uh, you have like a Venn diagram with people who want to play piano and people who want money. So in this section, it's kind of like they are, I guess this is where they are trying to target this audience, right? So anyway, the image, the creative is just these people like in a party. As I said, they are all in suits. It's like it's people from business, or I don't know. They look like successful people, or at least people who have money. And there is a bit of of I don't know if copy, but it's like a conversation here happening. Can he really play? A girl whisper. Heavens, no! Arthur exclaimed. He never played a note in his life. And I don't know about this because when you see this page, the first thing you see is this, right? It's the headline. So I don't know. I don't really know uh, how useful is to use this little section. But the thing is, I'm thinking I'm analyzing this ad using my 21st century tools, right? And nowadays we can take this specific piece of copy and we can split test it. We can send this ad on Facebook, or just make it a sales page, right? And we can test this small snippet of copy, and we can split test this to see which one performs better, the one with the image and this, or the one that it's just the headline. So I get why he did it in that time. I don't know how much it helps again, but they couldn't split test it like we can right now. So I don't think it's fair, like making that comparison, right? Like if this was running now, like in 2021, I wouldn't use this simply because I don't think it's going to help. Maybe actually a video of someone playing the piano or something like that would be much better. But it's still like what I find interesting, and getting into this storytelling angle, is that, when now you go to ClickBank or any weight loss offer, and they do this thing, like they begin at in the action, right? They begin with the I don't know, there is a father who is having dinner in the living room, and he hears a scream from upstairs, and he has to go and use the stairs because I don't know, he has a kid in the upstairs room, and he is short of breath, and he ends up having a heart attack or something like that. And you can see in those video sales letters that they start right in the action, right? They don't tell you the story of, oh, when I was a kid, or growing up, I love my kid, and having my kid was the best thing in my life, and I was very proud of being a father. But then one day I heard a scream and I had to go up the stairs. No, what they do is they create this dramatization of the specific event, and then they tell you the story. So you are going to see in those it's more I see it happen more than anything in sale and in weight loss sales letter, weight loss supplements, and that kind of stuff. um but uh we can see here that it's not something that started right now. It's not something that image that concept of starting the sales letter in the middle of the action. You know how, if you go to see any action movies right now, like any Marvel movies, or any action movies, it doesn't matter who is making them, they always start in the middle of the action. Or, if you go watch one of the James Bond movies, that James Bond, it's always like in the middle of the action, right? He's always in at the end of a mission, or in the middle of the mission. Something happens, he gets injured or something, and then after that scene is done, where he fights the bad guys, you have the start of the movie, right? So that in the middle of the action um, acts like an prologue, I guess, right, for the movie. And with copy happen, it's exactly the same, because we start in the middle of the action, right? We start with, he sat down at the, can he really play? He was a girl whisper, heavens no, he never played a note in his life. So we are starting in the middle of the action, right? If you read this sales letter, or this ad from the what's the word, with from top to bottom, from left to right, the first thing you are going to find is this whole section, and this copy will be the first thing that you read. And the ad, it's literally starting in the middle of the action. It's not starting when he was taking the piano lessons, and it not wasn't starting when like explaining that there was once a party and there was a lot of people in there, right? It started in the middle of the action. It started when the guy it's sitting down at the piano, and you even have like this image, right, of the guy about to sit down to the piano. So I think that's really interesting. I'm going to make a short note in here, like let's do some I want to take some notes right here. So the first one is it starts uh, at the middle of the action. And again, I think this is interesting more than anything, because we see right now that uh, all these sales letters, right, that we are seeing on ClickBank and that kind of stuff right now, are doing exactly this. And we tend to think that this stuff is new, right? That these things are something that we create right now. And as we can see right now, this stuff, it's being used since 100 years ago, right? So maybe what's happening right now, it's that those the video sales letters running right now, it's like they all are hyper dramatic, let's say, and they are over the top, because you have to retain, you have to capture and retain the attention of whoever is watching, right? um and that's the way that it has evolved to that point, right? The whole direct response copy kind of industry, right? So the first note that we are going to make, it starts in the middle of the action. uh, okay, so let's keep reading. So they laughed when I sat down at the piano, but when I started to play. So I really like this headline simply because it's like uh, it's very curiosity inducing, right? You really want to know what's happening next, and it's following the same principle in the sense that um, it's still at the middle of the action, right? They laughed when I sat down at the piano, but when I started to play, it's not telling. Everyone applauded me when I finished to play a song in the piano, right? It's not starting at the end. It's starting in the middle of the action, and you want to know what's going to happen next. We humans have this thing where we always want to like complete the loop, right? The loop. So for example, if I don't know if this is a psychological thing, or like it's something that we evolved over millions of years, right? But we always want to close the loop. We want to know what's the ending, right? And it happens with things like songs, where if you heard the that song goes like ta na 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 na, and I don't finish that melody, let's say. You're kind of have it in your mind, right? Ta na 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 na, and it bothers you, right? It's kind of irritating. So that's exactly what happens in this headline, right? If you don't you want to keep reading because you feel like there's something because you feel that you need something, that you need to know how the story ends. So that's what I like. It's very even though it doesn't seem like it's very curiosity oriented, because um, it's betting, right? It's making a bet. It's betting that you are going to keep reading simply because because you're interested in what the story is going to be about. That, and because you have the word piano here, right? I don't know if John Caples it's the first one that used this headline. I've seen it in several places, but I don't know if he's the first one. And I like to believe that it is, because it's such a real good headline. So it starts with the story, right? And Arthur, we have Arthur, this his character, that it's the same character that we have in here, right? Arthur and Arthur. Arthur, let's just read this. Arthur had just played the Rosary. The Rosary. The room rang with applause. I decided that this would be a dramatic moment for me to make my debut. So this thing, like, this guy thinked it over, right? He had, like, Arthur is like his rival, right? So let's take. Okay, so let's end up reading this section. So I decided that this would be a dramatic movement for me to make my debut. To the amazement of all my friends, I strode confidently over the piano and sat down. Jack is up to these old tricks, somebody chuckled. The crowd laughed. They were all certain that I couldn't play a single note. Can he really play? I heard a girl whisper to Arthur. Heavens no, Arthur exclaimed. He never played a note in all his life. But you just watch him. This is going to be good. I decided to make the most of the situation. With mock dignity, I drew out a silk handkerchief and lightly dusted off the piano keys. When I rose and gave the rolling piano stool a quarter of a turn, just as I had seen an imitator of Paderewski do in a vaudeville sketch. What do you think of his execution? Called a voice from the rear. We're in favor of it, came back the answer, and the crowd rocked with laughter. So we have several elements in here, right? We have this Arthur in here. It's like this. Uh, it's like this rival, right? And not only that, you have the rival element, but you have the element of this was like all planned, right? The guy who is writing this ad, or the protagonist of the story, had it planned, right? So he's kind of letting you know as a reader that something, that there's going to be a payoff at the end, right? Because he's like in this complicity with you. I find kind of interesting. So let's take a note here. So the next thing, it's going to be there's a story. It has a rival, and the other thing is it kind of tells you, it lets you know that there is a payoff at the end, right? Because with such a little lines, just a few lines, you can see that it's the writer, it's kind of generating this relationship with you, right? Everyone is mocking him, but he is still like in your side, right? You are rooting for him, you know. It's something is good, it's going to happen. And the other thing you have here, it's a very clear failure scenario, right? Because it's actually happening in this paragraph, right? Everyone is mocking him, the crowd laughed. Even Arthur, the rival, right? This guy who just ended playing a fantastic song in the piano. It's mocking him, right? So you have all the elements in here just to know where the story is going, and you have all the elements for this to completely fail, right? You have the failure scenario here, it's something that it's likely to happen, or everyone is expecting to happen uh, in this story, right? So let's keep reading. So the story, the guy just had sat down at the piano, right, and everyone was laughing. So then, as I started to play, instantly a tense silence fell on the guests. The laughter died on their lips as if by magic. I played through the first bars of Liszt's immortal Lieberstrom. I heard the gasps of amazement. My friends sat breathless, spellbound. I played on, and as I played, I forgot the people around me. I forgot the hour, the place, the breathless listeners. The little world I lived in seemed to fade, seemed to grow dim, unreal. Only the music was real, only the music and the visions it brought me. Visions as beautiful and as changing as the wind-blown clouds and drifting moonlight that long ago inspired the master composer. It seemed as if the master musician himself were speaking to me, speaking through the medium of music, not in words but in chords, not in sentences but in exquisite melodies. So there's a few things happening in this paragraph or in this section of the ad. So the guy starts playing, and we have uh, instantly a tense silence fell on the guest. So basically, it's telling like what it's happening both outside, right? Outside, and what's happening inside. And this is the thing I find interesting of this paragraph list. Inside, what's happening inside of his mind, right? What he is feeling, because we can say that this ad has like two has a few goals. Let's say the goal, or I don't know if goal, but it's the word, but it's more like has a few emotions, right? Or key emotions, let's say. First one, it's this it's kind of pride, right? And status, like you are about to perform about in front of an audience, and you can fail, but you also have the potential to amaze them, right? And leave them breathless. And the second emotion is how the internal feeling, let's say, internal feeling of playing piano, right? Because I don't know if any of you watching this play an instrument or that kind of stuff, but this is, I play guitar, and this that he uh, that he describes in here, it's basically how you want to feel, or this is image, or this fantasy that people who play instruments have, like you're going to start playing, and you're going to enter this trance, or enter this flow state, in that your brain and your hand are going to be one, and you're going to be playing your instrument like a god or something like that. That's kind of the fantasy that people who play instruments in general have, right? So what I think it's great how it describes here not only the outside reward, or the outside effect that playing the piano it's going to have, but also the inside reward, the inside feeling, the inside emotions that will come with this offer, right, with this product. And uh, and that is something that I find interesting, because I see sometimes people, or some sales letters or copy in general, only describing or one or the other, right? Only describing the outside results, which is like how people will see you, or the inside results, how you are going to feel. You're going to have more confidence in that kind of stuff. And I think it's a mistake only focusing on one when you can easily do both, right? You should be mentioning on your sales copy both the inside transformation that you will get and the outside, right? um so yeah, that's it. I think the only thing I don't like about some of this copy is that well, I mean, it's old, right? It's really old, and I haven't tested this on the Hemingway app. I don't know if I can find this this copy in a like written, so I can copy paste it in a Hemingway app. But yeah, I would like to see, because some of the paragraphs I can kind of blocky and kind of difficult to read. Some of the sentences are too long, and I don't think I mean the general idea of the copy would work, but it should be adapt right to today's media, let's say, because right now things copy must be in almost all cases, I would say, really easy to read, right? And in some sentences I was kind of losing the idea simply because they were too long, right? So yeah, that's my only criticism. But again, it's like when I was criticizing this small piece of copy here, we kind of don't have they didn't have the technology back then like we do now. So and it was another medium, right? So let's keep reading. A complete triumph. um a complete triumph. As the last notes of the Lieberstrom, I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, died away, the room resounded with a sudden roar of applause. I found myself surrounded by excited faces. How my friends carried on. Men shook my hand, widely congratulating me, pounded me on the back with their putting me in pounded me on the back in their enthusiasm. Everybody was exclaiming with delight, plying me with rapid questions. Jack, why didn't you tell us you could play like that? Where did you learn? How long have you studied? Who was your teacher? I have never, I have never even seen my teacher, I replied. And just a short while ago, I couldn't play a note. Quit your kidding. So, yeah, let's quit your kidding, laughed Arthur, himself an accomplished pianist. You've been studying for years, I can tell. I have been studying only a short while, I insisted. I decided to keep it a secret so that I could surprise all you folks. Then I told them the whole story. Have you ever heard of the U.S. School of Music? I asked. A few of my friends nodded. That's correspondence's school, isn't it? They exclaimed. Exactly, I replied. Um, they have new simplified method that can teach you how to play an instrument by mail just a few months. So we have here the product presentation, right? And I want um, to make like this breakdown of the structure of the story. We have in the first paragraph, it's almost like it's the failure, right? We are going to we kind of get failure, just failure. Okay, so we kind of get what it's at stake in this section, right? We get that everyone is there, everyone is it's waiting for him to fail, so they can laugh at him, right? And then we have this section which is kind of like the action, right? This is the middle of the action, what the guy is doing that it's leaving everyone breathless, right? And the last part of the story, it's like it's like the success scenario, right? How everyone is congratulating him and that kind of stuff. So I'm saying this because this is a pretty common way of telling a story, right? You have a character that has a problem, and they have to train or they have to learn something, and at the end there is like this success scenario, right, at the end of the movie. So that's like a very let's say a very story a very easy and common story structure that everyone can use, and you don't have to be a genius, right, to make a three like a three scenario, or has a name, a three act story, right? You have the problem, the failure scenario, you have the action in the middle of the story, and you have the ending, right, the result at the end of the movie. So you don't have to, again, you don't have to be a genius to write this kind of structure, right, for a story. And the other thing happening here is that we are slowly transitioning into the product presentation part um, of the sales argument, right? So we have all these people asking me, "Hey, where did you learn? Who's your teacher?" Blah blah blah, and this guy start to introduce the product, right? So it's quite straightforward. This could be, you could grab this and put it into a sales letter, a video sales letter, or an email, or anything that has a story, because it's things story based offers running right now have basically the same structure, right? Maybe they are a bit more dramatic and a bit of more like over the top, let's say, but it's still the same structure, and I don't think it's very complicated, right? It's not new using these kind of stories to sell. So the next paragraph is this one: how I learned to play without a teacher. And then I explained how for years I had learned to play piano. It seems just a short while ago, I continued, that I saw an interesting ad of the US School of Music mentioning a new method of learning to play, which only cost a few cents a day. See this sentence? It's a bit too long to me. In fact, it starts in here, right? It's kind of long. I don't know. I don't like it. But again, it's other time, right? The ad told how a woman had mastered the piano in her spare time at home and without a teacher. So we are talking about here about this is already it's talking about the offer, right? It's all about the benefits. Um, I saw an interesting ad. This is making again that connection between that relationship between the reader and the ad, right? They are trying to make this connection, right? This guy learned to play piano and amazed every all his friends because he saw an ad on the newspaper, just like you are reading this ad right now. That's the it's kind of trying to give people hope that if someone else did it the same method that they if someone else did it, achieve this result, and they started in a similar position right now, they are going to the reader, it's going to be able to do it also, right? So we have I'm going to take a few notes. Here we have story structure. It's going to be uh, failure, what's at stake, right? You have to start the ad telling people what's at stake, what you can lose. You can lose your family, you can lose your money, all your money. You can lose your attraction because you are fat or whatever. Whatever thing it's at stake, you should be telling them at the beginning, so they can avoid, right? You have you have to clearly explain or clearly convey what people want to avoid, and that's why the research part is important, right? Because in the if you want people to feel identified with whatever you're writing, you're going to have to really nail all those fears that people have. In this case, it was the fear of people laughing at you, or people mocking you, or just being seen like a dork, right? So the story structure is the failure, the the action, right? What type of action the protagonist takes to change his situation, or what's happening in the movie, right? Or in the story. And then uh, the result, it's usually positive, right? It's he achieves the desired results, right? And the other thing it's happening, and I want to mention here, is this thing the about the connection that it's made. So it gives hope. It gives hope, right? So basically, what people think is this: if if someone achieve this result, uh, and they start at the same place than me, then it's possible for me too. So that's like this the last paragraph that we read, right? Where it details that this guy learned to play piano thanks to an app that they read in the newspaper, and it's exactly what's happening in for whoever is reading this, right? So let's keep reading. So the free book, no, without a teacher. Best of all, the wonderful new method. Let's. I want to highlight the benefits, right? Mentioning a new method. So this is like a new method of learning to play, which only costs a few cents a day. This is all benefit, right? And the part of a new method, I would say it's even a curiosity element, because it kind of makes you want to know more, right? A new method, what is this new method, and who developed it, and why it's helping, why does it work, right? Why are they using this new method? Because it's better than every other method, or what? the ad uh, the ad told how a woman had mastered the piano. This is a benefit in her spare time at home, and without a teacher. This is all benefit. Best of all, the wonderful new method. Again, we have this new method that we don't know what it's about. This new method require no laborious scales, no hard leg exercise. So this is more like, I know it's a benefit, but we are going to highlight it as a problem, right? Because even if it's not talking specifically about problems that they are going to have, it's talking about problems that people want to avoid, right? So no laborious scales, no heartless exercises, no tiresome practicing. It sounded so convincing that I filled out the coupon requesting the free demonstration lesson. Again, this is happening again. It gives hope, because the people is reading this, and it has a coupon just like this ad has, right? The free book arrived promptly, so we have a free book here, which is a benefit, let's say. I promptly uninstalled it in that very night. So it lets you know that this is instantaneous. You know, when you go to a website and you want to buy something, it's probably more for infomercials, right? Because supplements, they have to actually send it to your home, and you're going to have it in a few days, right? But when info products, what they do is it's they use this instant access as a sales angle, right? They tell you once you click the buy button, you're going to go to the checkout page, and once you fill your information, you're going to have instant access to 20 hours of training and online courses or whatever they are going to send you, right? So this is basically doing the same uh, without saying it like in your face, right? Without that like face value thing that we have now, or I guess I'm sure that they also had it in the place in this time, right? uh or no, or no, I guess no, because you had to, if you wanted information, you will have to get a book, because I don't know if there was TV in 1927. So I was amazed at how easy this is a benefit was to play this new way. Again, we have this element of curiosity in here, right? And you see how it's also very like reiterative, like it's always repeating itself in the what's the benefit, it's easy, right? And that it's a new method. It's easy and you have a new method. It's easy and you have a new method. It kind of repeats it a few times, because that's also something that you should be doing in your copy, right? It's just repeating about repeating the benefits, and the end result that people are going to get with your product, right? Because people tend to forget if you're not mentioning once and again and again and again. So okay, so the guy got the course. When the course arrived, I found it was just as the ad say, is as easy as ABC. Really? Playing the piano is easy as ABC. And as the lessons continued, they got easier and easier. This is, I don't believe you, man. And the lessons continued. They got easier and easier. Before I knew, I was playing all the pieces I liked best. So this is basically painting that future picture, right? This is what your life is going to look like in the future. Nothing stopped me. I could play ballads or classical numbers or jazz, all with equal ease, and I never did have any special talent for music. Okay, so this is like this one line. It's like, will this work for me? It's answering that question, right? Will it work for me? I never played the piano in my life. Does it work for me? I was never good. I don't have talent. Will this work for me? It's basically that's what's doing. I think this is a fantastic example of how copy doesn't change, or how selling doesn't change, right? You have the same um you have this it addresses the same concerns that people have right now. Will this work for me? It's easy. Will I have problems? How fast can I learn? And that kind of all those concerns and questions that people have, are addressed in here. So I don't know, I think it's great. So let's end up reading this. Play any instrument. So here we have a voice change, in the sense that it's not the protagonist of the story talking, right? Right here it's like the company, or I don't know who is selling this, but up until now we were reading James. I think James is the name, or I don't know. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, yeah, I think it was. Okay, but we aren't reading him anymore, right? We are now reading like the brand. Let's say we are reading whoever we are being talked to by the brand, this school, or I don't know who they are. So play any instrument. You too can now teach yourself to be an accomplished musician right at home in half the usual time. You can't go wrong with this simple new method, which has already shown almost 500,000 people how to play their favorite instruments. Forget that old fashioned idea that you need special talent. I love this. Just read the list of instruments in the panel and decide which one you want to play, and the US school will do the rest. And bear in mind, no matter which instrument you choose, the cost in each case will be the same. Because okay, just a few cents a day, no matter whether you are a mere beginner or already good performer, you will be interested in learning about this new and wonderful method. So we have here the new wonderful method. I honestly feel like when someone repeats something that many times, it's kind of, even though I know it's advertising, it kind of makes me want to know what the method is, right? And if you have something so good, if you have a unique mechanism so good that people just want to buy, they want to buy only to find out what that unique mechanism is, it means that you are making a good job. That's why curiosity is, it's so important, right? Why curiosity, I mean, if you have enough curiosity and money to spare, let's say, you can end up buying a book or something else or some product just because you want to find out what's inside, because you read a bullet point or a fascination or a headline or a paragraph that made you want to find out, hey, what's inside this book, what's inside this course, right? So so yeah, it makes me want to know what it makes me want to buy this book. I think it's a book, but just to find out that. And the voice change in here, you can see that it's very authoritative, right? You have two voices in here, um, two type of voices. You have the first one, it's the protagonist, right? He's in the same place as the reader. And the second one, uh, it's the it's the brand, it's the company, let's say, the brand, let's put it. And this is they are not it's not the same relationship, right? uh, Now we have more this authority figure, right? It's not telling you about the experience and how you didn't know how to play piano and now you know. It's actually telling you how it's giving you that confidence, right? That that credibility that they are going to take you to where you want to be, right? So the story, it's the thing that kind of keeps you hooked to keep reading, to know what's happening. And the company or the brand, it's the one that tells you that you can trust, basically, that you can that they are the right ones. They are this authority figure that can teach you how to play this instrument. Send for our free booklet and demonstration lesson. This is a classic call to action. Thousands of successful students never see. You have here this like this authority element. Thousands of successful students never dreamed they possessed music ability until it was revealed to them by a remarkable musical ability test, which we sent entirely without cost with our interesting free booklet, right? Um, so again, we have this credibility part, right? They are giving us credibility. uh, if you are in earnest about wanting to play your favorite instrument, or you really want to gain happiness and increase your popularity, well, this is weird, because it's kind of addressing this deep desire that it's not often named like so explicitly, let's say, in copy, right? Because we all have this basic desires, right? We all want more money, more women, or and we want more fame or whatever, right? So but it's never uh, it's kind of it's never mentioned that way, so explicitly, right? Because people often get people, it's going to see you in bad eyes if you kind of uh, if you if you say actually, hey, I want more women, I want more money, I want fame, I want power, whatever you want, right? And these are things that we all want, but we also judge each other if we say it aloud, right? If you're in earnest about wanting to play or increase your popularity, send it once for the free booklet demonstration lesson, no cost, no obligation. Right now, we are making a special offer for a limited number of students. We have even this. We have all the elements of a sales letter, or a sales argument, right? We have even this how it's called, FOMO, right? This fear of missing out, fear that if you don't send this quickly, someone else is going to get your place, right? So yeah, sign and send the convenient coupon now before it's too late to gain the benefits of this offer, right? uh, Again, it's fear of missing out, basically. Instrument supply when needed, cash or credit, USO, blah blah blah. So they are going to send you an instrument. That kind of answers the question: what if I don't have talent? Why if I don't have an instrument, right? So, and I want the last thing I wanted to take a look. It's um this call to action. It's quite interesting because one thing that I've learned as a copywriter is that you have to make it as easy as possible for people to buy. So, for example, in sales pages, the less clicks someone has to do to actually buy your offer, the better, right? And you don't want to make people to think, or to um you just want them to take the quick decision, and say just yes, or you have to give them the action that you want them to do. So in this call to action, it says, please send me your free book, music lessons in your own home with introduction, blah blah blah. I'm interested in the following course. So basically, you have to just complete these lines and send the coupon. And I honestly think that, and I was mentioning this about making it easy because you see here that they don't, they aren't saying, hey, send a letter to this address, telling us about why you would like to play an instrument, right? It's not asking for like this a recommendation letter or anything like that. It's just saying, hey, send this coupon, just complete this with a few words and send it. Because the more time people people spend, or more people, or people have to make a decision, you have more chances of them not taking that decision. Because after you read this ad, you're probably going to be like, oh, okay, I have this is possible, I can use this new method, I'm going to learn piano. But as you go thinking about it, with time you kind of get more skeptical at this, that this can work for you, and you have more chances of losing that client, right? It's kind of the same holds today, in the sense that the less clicks people have to make to get your product, the better, and the less the quicker they can get the product, or the quicker they can make the decision, it's better for you, because you won't lose that client. They will have less opportunities to think about it, right? So I don't know if there's anything else that I like about this ad. It's really good. Um it's not like this long form sales letter, but it's really good, and it's really fun to read. And I guess the only thing that I wanted to the reason why I like this ad that much, it's because it simply has all the elements of a current VSL that you can watch on ClickBank or anywhere, and they use the same elements. But this was written in 1927. Like, this is almost 100 years ago. So I think that is really cool. So anyway, that was Breathing Copy episode number 1. I'm going to be streaming a few times a week. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and so see you later.